My gut feel, and I study people as much as people might think I shoot from the hip. I do look at people in the rounds and try to make an evaluated opinion based upon a variety of different perspectives. I've never really felt, and a lot of my friends are big Everton fans, and big Evertonians, and they were majorly in the camp of Duncan Ferguson being given an opportunity. I don't feel that he's a manager. I don't doubt that he's learnt his trade insofar as his trade being a coach and somebody that might be able to influence players to a certain perspective. But there is a vast difference. Like he talked about David Moyes saying go and work in the academy and learning your trade. That's not learning your trade to be a manager. That's learning your trade to work with players. David Moyes is a manager. And it strikes me that Duncan Ferguson has every right to have a go. Every right if he feels that he has got the prerequisite skills to find a job within the confines of professional football that gives him the top seat because of what he's learned and because of the experiences he's had, then he has every right to have a go. My gut feel, when we talked about it last year, about him stepping in when the situation was getting very critical at Everton and they'd gotten rid of Benitez. There was a delay between appointing Frank Lampard and this other guy had come over from Portugal, talked to the media and talked about what he was and wasn't going to do. Yeah. And I felt that Duncan could go in there, vastly different from sitting in for a few games, being a caretaker, to actually being in a situation where you're now the future. I had it a few times with Steve Kember at Crystal Palace. He stepped in for previous owners, stepped in for me, and had moments when you think, he's done this job. And
then I motivate players, though, Duncan.
Well, there's motivation and there's management. You know, there are two different things. You do, of course, need to inspire players, but you need to be able to manage them and inspire them and direct them and control them and discipline and point them in the right direction and all these different things. And my feeling is that Duncan isn't at that level. And I don't think, certainly at a Premier League level and probably not at a Championship level, he might find himself being able to get a League One or a League Two job, and then we'll see, and cut his teeth that way. My gut feel is no, he's better within a framework of a very experienced manager, and Duncan is an asset you can utilise. But as a manager, no, I don't get that feel from him. I don't get that feel from the way he converses. I don't get that feel from his tactical abilities when he managed those games, albeit we saw him pick up a ball boy and it was wonderfully emotive.
I'd love him to prove you wrong, because
so would I.
You cannot help but get behind Ferguson in whatever he attempts to do.
Well, you know, he's a redemption story because he wasn't the greatest of individuals when he was a player, and of course now he's manifested himself into a hero at Everton, and everywhere he's been a certain type of player that people have been able to relate to. Some of the off-field stuff, not palatable, but that's a part of everyone's journey. We all do things and make mistakes, and you get the right to be able to go and make adjustments to your life. But I look at it now and say, if he, first of all, I don't want him not to be successful. I'm being asked the question, do I think he's a manager? And my gut feel is no. Now, if he goes and proves me right, then or wrong, either which way, I'd have zero investment in either outcome. I'd be pleased if he did, and I'd get no satisfaction if he didn't. I hope if he takes the brave step of stepping out of a regime, which I think probably in the end he might have got pushed out of, then he deserves an opportunity based upon how well he interviews, how well he can manage up, what he can bring to an equation, what club will take him, and all of those feature in the opportunity that he may or may not get.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.